Hybrids are our bridge between gas-powered and electric-powered vehicles. The Prius is the best known hybrid in the world, and while it is important, it's the opposite of exciting. The other end of that spectrum is this, the BMW i8 Roadster, a plug-in hybrid supercar that looks more like a spaceship than a four-wheeled means of transportation. It's bold, it's fun, and it's really in its own category, which is good or bad depending on who you talk to.
Starting at $163,300, the BMW i8 Roadster sits squarely in the supercar price range. And it has all the usual trappings of a supercar. It has doors that open like this, and everywhere it goes, it turns heads. In fact, every time I pulled up anywhere with this car, people pulled out their cameras. It's an Instagram magnet.
Frankly, I don't blame them. It's a beautiful car. BMW designed a car that looks futuristic without being unapproachable, and it's even better with the top down. It's what we expected to drive in the future when we were little kids.
What we didn't expect from our childhoods is that the cars that would quicken our pulse when we got older, they would plug into the wall in addition to being powered by gasoline. And this car, it only has 3 cylinders. You know what else only had 3 cylinders?
The newest Geo, Metro. Doesn't cost a lot, and it has 2 airbags.
Okay, fine. The i8's 3 cylinders are turbocharged, and when combined with the electric motor, the car outputs 369 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque. That means this supercar hybrid of the future, it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds.
That sounds fast, and it is fast, but it's not supercar fast.
And you know what? That's fine. Most people buy cars like this to impress people, to draw a crowd. It's basically a giant look at me sign. The i8 Roadster, it does that in a friendlier daily driver package.
The i8 Roadster has an EV-only mode that goes up to 33 miles before switching to gas, and will do up to 75 miles per hour. Sure, if you're dropping $166,000 on a car, you might not be too concerned about paying for gas. But you might actually care a bit about your carbon footprint, and if your daily drive is less than 30 miles per day, you can cruise in ostentatious style without spewing more CO2 into the air.
Oh, and in EV mode, it's very quiet. In fact, it's so quiet that I was able to follow a bobcat along the road while I was driving. That's something I couldn't do in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or even an F-150. You also get up to 69 miles per gallon, which is kind of crazy when you think about that's coming from a car that looks like this.
Behind the wheel, the car lacks any driver assistance beyond regular cruise control. You don't buy cars like this to have the vehicle help you drive.
Instead, you do this as often as possible.
The all-wheel drive car is a blast on back roads when put into sport mode. It regenerates the battery enough that you probably don't need to stop by a charging station on the way home.
BMW engineers tuned the latest crop of i8s so that the suspension is a bit more neutral. It doesn't have a lot of understeer, which is where you turn the front wheels and the car just kind of keeps going straight, or oversteer, where you turn the car and the back end, slides out. And that's great, and you turn it, you point it, there it goes. But it doesn't have a lot of road feel. You don't get a lot of feedback as you're going through a lot of switchbacks and mountain roads. So it's a bit like playing a video game with the steering wheel. And I personally wish the electronic steering had more something that sort of told me when I was really going around a corner.
When you're not pushing the car to the limit, the comfort mode uses the battery with a smattering of gas engine to get you where you're going, and it's a surprisingly nice ride. On the freeway, you don't get jarred by every crease in the road. It's very un-supercar in that way.
The BMW i8 Roadster does a great job straddling the line between supercar insanity, look at it, and forward-looking engine technology. It does have doors that go up like this, but you can also quietly drive it around town and do some grocery shopping. You can't pick up a lot of groceries. The trunk is a bit bigger than expected, but it's still pretty small. The point is, I really like the i8 Roadster. Now, it doesn't have the road feel steering or a chorus of lines that erupt whenever I stomp on the accelerator. Instead, it's a fun car to drive, one that appeals to my inner 8-year-old, the one that wants to drive a car that looks like this, but also wants to feel like he's driving into the future.